Okay, it's running. All right, everybody. Happy Change
Wednesday.
Woohoo! Change Wednesday. Peace +1. Join the fun in ConscienceLAND. We are here in Hong Kong this time to be part of the solution, right? And you know, we have so many things happening in Hong Kong. Can we first introduce ourselves? Maybe starting with Howard.
Hi everyone, I'm from New York University, Abu Dhabi. My name is Howard, and I'm here in Hong Kong for an internship.
Cool.
Super awesome. My name's Keith. I'm born and raised in Hong Kong. Been here all the time, and then I'm a personal trainer. I own a few businesses, and then I'm also into the Web3 space.
Excellento. Web3 space. I used to teach here in Hong Kong at the Chinese University of Hong Kong and lecture at HKU. And now it's how do we make the world a better place in ConscienceLAND? And later on we'll talk about, you know, NFTs and sort of blockchain stuff and all kinds of cool stuff that people here know a lot about. And who have we got here?
I am Charmaine. I'm born and raised in Hong Kong. I'm a recruiter in a recruitment agency.
That's fantastic. So I see that these microphones are sort of out of the way, and they're too much in the way. And you must excuse our little bit funny setup. We've got what kind of a stick is this? It's like a quaizi. It's like a.
We call it chopsticks.
Chopsticks. Yeah.
I call it the candy cane microphone.
That's right. Very nice. So we had some issues with the microphone, so now we're going down to very basics. So I hope this works out. All right. Change Wednesday today. We do 3 things. Number 1. Smile and make other people happy. When you make other people happy, how do you feel?
Happier.
Okay, good. You're normal. So that's
happy. I'm normal.
Happy and normal. So that's the first thing: is smile and make other people happy. Why? Because it's good for you. It's good for the community. It just raises the level of vibration. Right. Makes sense. Second thing, change something about who?
Myself.
Right. You have to change something about yourself because you can't change other people. Right? You can think you can change other people, but you actually can't do it. So that's the second thing. It's change something about yourself. We say stop a bad habit and start a
better habit.
Yeah, start a good habit. You know, we know what we need to do. We just don't do it typically. Right? You're a personal trainer. You know.
Time. I know all my clients do that. They're like, I need a better body, but I'll go drink.
Right. Yeah. I'm gonna
this, and then I'll eat fried chicken.
Right. Exactly.
It's like a dilemma.
Okay. So, and then the third one is unplug. Now, Howard, I know you're a computer whiz and user of social media and so on. What about unplugging? What do we need to do every Wednesday?
It's just, like unplug yourself from the digital devices like phones or maybe just laptops for a while at least.
Right. At least 3 hours. This is the suggestion. What you do is what you do. We can't force anybody to do anything. We're trying not to. But for 3 hours every Wednesday, probably evening, right? Makes more sense. During the day, you've got work to do. You've got a life to lead. It's pretty hard for you to turn off your phone. But for 3 hours in the evening, turn your bloody phone off. Go for dinner with people or at your home. Eat with people. Keep your phone off. Talk to your family and friends face to face. What a concept. Yeah. Right?
Breaking news.
Right, breaking news.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. We are speaking face to face because there's so much more. How much more information? What is the percentage, Charmaine, of the information that we... did I ask you to introduce yourself? I don't think...
Yeah, I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just thinking... what is it? Like 80% of the information that we communicate is like nonverbal?
80%.
I'm not sure. Do you know about that statistic?
That's around the statistic for general
Like when
population.
When you're communicating with somebody, I forget the statistic, obviously, but there's a huge percentage of the actual information that you're getting, face to face, that is not words. It's nonverbal.
Facial reaction.
Facial reaction, body position.
Posture,
Look at all these
gestures, and
guys. These
everything.
guys with the,
Look at how
the
we're
shorts.
sitting.
Yeah,
everything.
you guys like there you go. So
Yeah.
okay, so that's fun. So there's the 3 things that we do every Wednesday, or we try to encourage other people to do every Wednesday. Smile and make other people happy. Change something about yourself. Stop a bad habit and start a good habit. And unplug, which is, put your phone aside, turn it off ideally, or pile them up. You know that game, when you go out and eat and you turn off your phone and you put it
in the middle.
Or you don't turn it off and it rings and you pay for everybody. Right? So, have fun. I mean, life is short. Do some fun things and don't be controlled. That's the main issue. So that's Change Wednesday. And, what we're trying to do in ConscienceLAND, is we're trying to get people to share that message. Right. So one thing, we've already done it, but I wanted, for the sake of people who might be watching, let's show what we would like other people to do with their friends and family. And that is, not only do the Change Wednesday, Smile, Change, Unplug, but before that even, become a citizen of ConscienceLAND. Right? So to become a citizen of ConscienceLAND, there are 3 questions. I think I did this with you, didn't I? 3 questions. Number 1 question, do you have a conscience?
Yes.
Okay, good. Check mark.
Normal.
Yeah, exactly. You're normal. You are a normal human being. You have a conscience. Okay, but here's the second question. Do you act on your conscience?
Yes.
You do? Well, you're perfect. Okay, but and this is my commentary here, because of hundreds and hundreds of people who I've done this with. We don't act on our conscience all the time. We'd like to, we should be able to, but we can't, right? Because of the real world out there, it doesn't allow us to do so. So my own suggestion, you don't have to answer this way, but my own suggestion is the answer to do you act on your conscience is I try. I try my best. Like, I don't do it all the time, not because I don't want to, but because,
limitations, which is like hindering you to do something in real life. So we can only try our best to act.
Well, you're a trainer. You know that, like, people, can you immediately do chin-ups, the 10 chin?
Not
No.
really. You need time. You need to invest in time to
You need to
actually
try.
polish that. Yeah.
Try.
Yep. You need to keep on trying.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's no different. The physical world, mental world, spiritual world. Third question. Do you serve your community?
Yes.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Well,
That's a tough one.
I think that's a good.
That's a good
I think this is the
question.
perfect reaction. You heard how slow that came out?
Reflecting, thinking.
Yes. Which is probably completely true. Why? Because you don't all the time, or you don't as much as you would like to do, right? So you say yes because, or yes because all of us, we want to participate and interact and serve our community, but does life allow us to do that? Not really. Our jobs keep us, in a certain track and so on and so on. Okay, so, but you answered the three questions in the affirmative. So bingo bongo, you are a citizen of ConscienceLAND,
Yep.
right? And do you have a conscience?
Yes, I do.
Okay, do you act on your conscience?
I tried.
You do serve your community?
Trying really hard.
Bingo bongo. Give Howard the mic. Do you have a conscience, Howard?
Yes.
Do you act on your conscience?
Yes.
Ooh.
I try to.
Okay, well, yeah, well, he probably does, but he is also trying. Okay, and do you serve your community?
I try my best.
Perfect. Okay, bingo bongo, yay! Yay! So that's okay, so we agree, and can it be fun, actually, to do it with friends and family? Sure, because you can have this conversation, It's just fun. Like, do you perfectly operate in the world? No, none of us do. So let's not be so hard on ourselves. All right. Now, now that we're all citizens of ConscienceLAND, because we have a conscience, we know we have a conscience, we try to act on our conscience, we try to serve our community, best we can ask of anybody. Next is the affirmations. Okay, 3 affirmations. Do you know what affirmations are?
Yes.
Like promises, sort of promises to yourself. That's kind of an affirmation.
Affirming yourself.
Affirming, yeah. Yeah. So there's 3 affirmations. Number 1,
Conscious?
no, I didn't give you the prompt, so that's okay that you didn't know. The first one is, I do no harm. Have you heard of that before?
Yeah.
I do no harm.
I do no harm.
Do you know what it's from? It's called the Hippocratic Oath. Hippocratic Oath. Do you know what the Hippocratic Oath is?
It's like you act. Hippocratical means like you act as if you are.
Not hypocritical.
No.
Hippocratic.
Oh.
It's Hippocrates.
Yeah.
It's a
Hypocrisy.
who's Hippocrates?
Hypocrisy.
Who was Hippocrates? Anyway, he was a medical. He was
see.
the founder in Greece. He's a medical person. Okay.
A medical person.
And the Hippocratic Oath is the oath that doctors take. You know, when you become a doctor,
Yeah.
to do no harm.
Oh.
Right? You're a doctor. You're not a doctor to kill people. You're a doctor to heal people.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the Hippocratic Oath. So in ConscienceLAND, our first promise to ourselves is the same one.
I do no harm.
I do no harm. Now, do we do harm?
Yes.
Yes.
We just walk along the ground and we're crunching plants and bugs, and I mean, we can't wake up in the morning without doing harm, and probably when we're asleep we're doing harm. We are not perfect and we are not so wonderful, so we have to compensate for that. Okay, so when we say I do no harm, we have to begin to think in our daily lives, what are we doing that does harm, and shouldn't we stop that? And the answer is yeah, we should stop that. Okay. So that's the first affirmation, I do no harm. The second affirmation is, I do not fear. Fear. That's a toughie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you think, Charmaine, that I do not fear would be difficult for some people?
Because I don't have much courage and confidence. Yeah.
Well, I think that's exactly right. I think most people are living in fear. They're living in fear of what other people think about them, living in fear of what, authorities would do if they cross the street in the wrong way. We're living in fear of breaking rules, of all this kind of stuff, right? Now, are rules there for a good reason? Yes. Most of them are, wear your seatbelts and don't cross on the,
Don't jaywalk.
Don't jaywalk. I mean, I do, but I said I did. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like,
You tried.
I tried. Like, and so anyway, so there's I do not fear is really about. Let's also be aware that a lot of our behavior is based on reacting in a fearful way. Like we're not. If it's a dangerous thing to do, and there's some fear from being hit by a car or eaten by a monster or something, like fine, that's normal, right? But so much of how we operate is a fear of something that's not. We shouldn't be fearing it. We shouldn't be worried about it, right?
That's facts.
Yeah.
That's facts.
Yeah. So that's the second one. Is I do not fear. If you affirm this to yourself, do you live in fear? Yeah, sure, all of us do in some degree. Yeah. But if you say to yourself, I do not fear, it gives you it opens your mind to think, what is it I'm fearing? Like, what is it that I'm feeling the feeling of fear? Where is this coming from? And if you investigate it, it's probably nothing. Or it's probably not worth fearing.
Yep.
You may discover that
100%, I agree on that part.
Yeah.
It's like also physical training, whenever we do like crazy heavy weights, hitting personal records, we do have a fear, like for the weights. Like it might crash me, it might do a lot of things, but then a lot of times we tell ourselves like try not to fear it. Like we have a fear of course, but then do it. Hit it first and see.
And I would, not that I'm a personal trainer, but I would say to you that I'm sure you, as a personal trainer and as a fitness expert, you would say to people, look, don't fear the weight, but prepare. Lift it the right way, have your right muscles, strengthen. Don't go into something and say, well, I'm just afraid, and then try it in a way that's not safe.
Yeah.
Of course you're going to hurt yourself, and then that fear will come true.
Because you're overshooting a lot. Go for something more subtle. It's like step by step, stack that
Exactly.
achievement up.
Totally.
And then eventually you build that confidence
Exactly.
over certain things.
So it's not unwarranted confidence.
Yeah.
It's confidence that comes from
Yourself.
literally it's exercising.
Yeah, exercising.
It's exercising your confidence and your muscles.
It's like progressively overloading your confidence bit by bit by
and then
stacking
seeing
up.
that you can do it,
Yeah,
right?
100%.
Like you say,
I got
oh,
that in already. I should be able to pull this off. It's basically like that.
Right.
How I see it.
But if you sort of say, if you're not, like, there's a reason for fear, right? What's the reason for fear? Why do human beings have this mechanism of fear? What is that for?
Survival.
I think it's survival.
Self-protection, survival.
I think, like, if there's a big tiger running
Yeah.
after you, is it good to fear?
Yes.
Yeah, very good to fear. It's like,
Flight.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's your fight or flight response. And so if you didn't fear, what would happen?
It will be quite dangerous.
Yeah, it's pretty dangerous. So fear keeps you out of danger, right? Fear keeps you out of danger. But I think what we're saying here is that I do not fear is so that, okay, let us evaluate what's really going on. Not what the media is telling me, not what even my friends or family is telling me. Let me analyze for myself, what is the danger here? What is the consequence of taking this road or not moving at all? Or, what is the consequence of this? Most probably. And what can I do about it? Should I move? Should I not move? Should I run away? Or should I even cower in fear? Okay, so we won't overdo it, but you get the drift of why we're talking about these affirmations. I do no harm in that I'm not operating my life based on violence, against other people. It's not forcing anything.
Yeah.
It's go with the flow. Be like water,
Bruce Lee.
do the Bruce Lee thing,
Yeah.
right? Be like water. Go with the natural world. Okay, and then the do not fear. I'm sure Bruce Lee has some fantastic quotation about fear. I don't know what it is. Do you know?
No.
I don't either. So okay. So here we go. So what was the first one? The first affirmation?
I do no harm.
Right. What was the second affirmation?
I do not fear.
All right. Perfect. So the third affirmation is kind of like the third question, do you have, or do you serve? But in this case, it's because it's an affirmation, I leave it better than I found it.
Nice.
So whatever the circumstance, right? Whatever the situation, you leave it better than you found it. So, give an example. We're all friends, but say it was the first time you came, right? And first time I met you. What is my objective? To leave you, like, to make you feel not friendly toward me? No, of course. My desire is to leave the situation better than I found it.
Yeah.
So if we treat people in this way, and we say, I hear my alarm going off here, or somewhere. It's over there.
Hold the mic for you.
Hold on. All right.
Is that time's up or?
No, it's not time's up. It's just, hold on. Sorry. We'll have to edit this part.
Yeah. Cut it off.
We'll have to edit this part. Okay. All right, we're back. We're back. So,
Hello, everyone.
hello everyone.
Welcome back.
We were just talking about the affirmations, the three questions, and the three affirmations, and we got through. I do no harm. I do not fear, and I leave it better than I found it. And so that purpose of I leave it better than I found it is so that we use this great skill, this courage. Really, it's courage that we're kind of generating by not fearing and not knowing that we're not the primary source of pain in the world. We're not hurting. We're not harming people around us in situations. It's the opposite. We're trying to heal, situations, relationships, and so on. So that gives people courage. That gives people courage because they know that they don't have that many enemies. They have enemies. We all have enemies,
Yeah.
But mostly our enemies, honestly,
Comes from within.
well, mostly it comes from within, actually. But let's say the ones that are outside of our own body, right? The most of the enemies are like they're damaged people themselves. Traumatized, broken
majority
people,
of time.
and jealous.
Jealousy.
Jealousy is a huge thing. I'm
It
discovering
eats
in my
people
old
up.
age.
Yeah.
People.
Comparing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Comparing.
Man,
That hurts a lot.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, it hurts a lot to the people
Around you.
Well, you're right. It hurts a lot to the people who are jealous and comparing.
Yeah.
But it hurts the people who are the subject of the comparison too.
Yep.
Because you might say, "Oh, they're such a nice friend," but then behind that is some jealousy or something, and behind your back, this other person who they really do want to like you, and you do like them, but they are, what is it called? Green with envy. They're not functioning on the level, the spiritual level that
Value isn't jamming, like not vibing.
yeah, they're not
Not
vibing.
vibing. Yep.
They're not vibing with you.
Yeah.
You're vibing, and you're trying to do good and trying to make the world a better place, but they're kind of stuck in themselves and their ego and comparing and saying, but she's got much smarter and much better than me, and she's got nice friends, and like I want that, and so my way of getting that is to bring her down, right? Have you ever heard of that?
Jealousy at its finest form.
Yeah, man. I mean, this is really the way it seems to work. I'm afraid. I'm sad to say. And it's not always it's not always the idiots and the people you generally don't even really want to be around that are doing this. Sometimes it's the people that are really close to you.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
I think it happened to everyone before. Like everyone can kind of resonate with this. Like having a really good friend and then kind of breaking the relationship out of one party's jealousy or comparison.
Comparison.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, jealousy is
It's
comparison.
from comparison.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is why ConscienceLAND, I think, what we're doing is kind of cool, is because it's so simple, right? There's three things. Well, there's six things, but there's
Six things now. Six things
It's
now.
three things.
Plus
It's a
three.
question. One question, really. Do you have a conscience? Do you act in your conscience? Do you serve the community? That's one question.
Yeah, it's one big question.
It's one big question.
Mashed up, and
But-
then we
yeah.
got the following up part.
Right. And then the other question is, do you fear? Do you harm? Do you fear? And what is it you're doing about it?
Leave it better than when I found it.
Yeah. So it's sort of kind of really two questions. And even that is really one question.
Yeah.
Are you a citizen of ConscienceLAND? Do you act on your conscience to make the world a better place? Or do you just act on your conscience to be jealous, to steal things, to be, a jerk? Like what?
To be a bum.
Well,
To be
yeah.
a bum.
To be a bum, yeah. Anyway, so let's not get depressed here. This is all happy stuff. This is actually good stuff.
It's a really good reflection, actually, when we're talking about this, because I think this kind of brings reflection to everyone hearing this, and then really looking at themselves deeply and thinking, oh, what kind of person I am? What can I change to be a better person for the community and even for themselves?
For themselves.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a
Be
really good
selfish,
reflection.
actually, not in a bad way, but be
That's
selfish
a good way. It's
in
a
a
good
good
way.
way.
It's a good way.
You're doing that smile and make other people happy and change something about yourself and plug. You're doing it for you.
It's like you're healing yourself and then you heal the others.
Exactly.
Comes first. Always comes from
You
within.
have to heal you. It's so. I mean, it's like actually impossible, right? To
100% agree.
it is actually impossible to help anybody else, to help your community, to help the earth. It's not even possible if you are all messed up,
Yeah.
right? It's not possible.
Like, Philip, have you heard about a saying that if you don't love yourself, how can you love others?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Precisely. So this is the effort we're trying to do here in ConscienceLAND. We're right now Hong Kong. Okay, Hong Kong is actually a fantastic place to do this because families are tight. Families are close. People are conservative. They're pretty much family
Oriented.
don't want to change too much.
Like, all culture is implanted heavily in the values.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that stuff. It's all good. And so if we can Cantoneseify, if we can make this in native language, make this in Chinese
Mandarin, Cantonese.
ways. I'm not even thinking so much of language, although clearly to communicate with people it's better in their native language, but I'm actually thinking in terms of examples of celebrities and the people who are saying here, these are the kind of people that do this. Well, we want to use Chinese examples, right? We don't want to say it's some guy from South Africa or some guy from England is the ideal. No, because look, we're all we all have this problem with races and groups and languages and religions and skin colors and stuff. We all have problems with this. So no matter almost what we say. So it's really the truth is we have to localize these things like we're talking about with ConscienceLAND. ConscienceLAND is where? It's wherever your feet are touching the ground. That's where ConscienceLAND is. It's in your head and your heart.
Yeah.
That's where it is. It's not physically existing anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's also a super good thing to actually put this out in Hong Kong, because I think if you guys have looked at the statistic, basically it's like everyone got some mental issue in Hong Kong from all the stress. It can be really mild, it can be heavy, but then majority of people got a slight depression due to work issue, due to financial issue, and that's facts in Hong Kong.
I mean, this is complete. Actually, this is the reason. This is the fundamental problem, and it's and it's not exclusive to Hong Kong. For sure.
I think it's around the world.
It's totally around the world. So it's not that it's only this place. It's that this place, that first of all, educational level, literacy level, and so on in Hong Kong, I imagine is astronomically high. So that's one sort of hurdle that a lot of communities, even the United States, there's some people who have absolutely no education, none. In fact, they've got all the wrong education, from Instagram. I mean, they got
social media.
Yeah, social media and social. What do you call that? Like celebrity crap, So yeah. There are pockets of the world where there's a real problem, and I don't even know how to begin there. But let's start with places that we know, like Hong Kong, where, Hong Kong has a lot of challenges, just like every other place, but they're Hong Kong challenges. So, there's transitions, there's, part of Greater China issues, and there's all kinds of things like that. But they're mostly kind of, the mountains are high and the emperor's far away. Most of it is really that. Okay? It's not something to fear every day. The fear every day is food, money, pay the rent, feed your children, you know, have
Fundamental living cost.
fundamental living costs, and so on. And then they have all these challenges. Like I was beginning, there was a third one on here I eliminated for today's discussion, but you know, it was a financial issue, and I think I'll bring it up again. Is that the world is going through an enormous transition in terms of how we value things,
Yeah.
right? So how we, you know, U.S. dollar is being dropped by so many BRICS countries, you know, like it's really a big shift. This is earthquake level.
Yeah, but I see Argentina dropping too, and might collapse or like something financially. So
Right.
it's affecting a
So
lot of people.
don't forget to talk in the mic. Yeah. So you know, like it's so serious. And what we're talking about is big, but I think 99% of the people in the world are denying it. They're not. They're saying, oh well, you know, keep collecting or stuff it in your mattress or you know whatever. They're not preparing themselves to live in their community regardless of what happens economically. Think about those words. Regardless of whether it goes up in value, goes down in value, goes sideways in value, collapses, expands, blows up. It's what are you going to do whatever happens? How are you going to live in your community and make that happen? So that's partially what ConscienceLAND is about. That's why we talk about the mooncake coin, which I'd like to actually talk about next. You know,
It's nothing.
yeah, because it's a fun thing and it's economic and it's Hong Kong, right? But the reason I bring it up in this way is because I think, for instance, you mentioned that Hong Kong is a good place for this. I agree with you too that Hong Kong has a lot of pressures in the last how many 5 years?
5-6 years.
5-6 years that are really extreme, and I don't think people were prepared. You know, 99% of people didn't have the mental, we call it muscular mind, you know, we didn't have the mental sort of muscularity to deal with it. It's not their fault. I'm not saying anybody's at fault for this. It's the way they were raised. It was how they got their jobs in the past. You know, you're in the job helping people get with the jobs business, right? You know, so like this is it's a seismic shift. It's a seismic, and tell me what you think, but I think most people are not prepared and they don't have any idea what to do. They don't have any idea how to prepare themselves for this eventuality. Would you agree?
100%. Because like education system and everything that's being implanted into upbringing is actually not preparing for all these scenario or like real world situation. And it's like we're taught like institutionally like how to make money, how to do this, how to be an engineer, how to calculate math, instead of like really teaching us how to conclude everything we mentioned before, how to be a people of consciences,
Right.
how you do no harm, how you don't fear about things, or how you do things within the community
And leave it
and
better,
then leave it better. Yep.
Yeah.
which takes some skill. Howard, what about what is your study? What are your studies?
I'm studying business and economics.
Okay.
See?
So totally.
Yeah.
So tell us about it in context of what we're just talking about here. Are you being prepared? Do you feel you're being prepared in your school?
I was taught about a lot of modeling, different economic models, or just calculus, and those are just like fundamental parts. But I feel like in the that kind of education, it's that kind of project that you kind of like work in teams, that you kind of pick up some little parts of that part of ConscienceLAND. And like going into the real world, there are like more issues that you're going to tackle, but without that kind of critical thinking and that kind of mindset about like who you really know, who you really are, that kind of things, and working on yourself. It's just like a lifelong learning process, and the school is the fundamental part, and there are like also some like liberal arts education help to kind of frame that kind of societal change education for you a little bit, and the rest of your life you're going to, just lifelong learn from, and adapt these kind of changes. So basically,
Yeah.
if that answers your question.
No, it's totally. It's. But I think the main thing that you're saying is that you're learning how to learn, sort of, and especially in groups,
Yeah.
right? Because I think you mentioned that, and this is also, not to monopolize the microphone, but I'll talk more a little bit, because I used to teach. I don't know if you knew, but I used to teach, and I used to teach in the business program, in the MBA program at CUHK, and also at HEC in Montreal, and that I didn't teach it anymore because I don't teach it anymore because I was realizing that I was kind of teaching psychopathy, people to be psychopaths and sociopaths, because the whole effort was, well, just the bottom line is money, and
Especially MBA, right?
well, especially MBA, because many people don't understand. I think
Keeping it
from
quiet.
MBA programs. MBA programs have been distorted terribly around the world. In thinking that it's sort of the masters of the universe kind of, create this super uber, business person,
Ultra high ego.
and stuff like that, which it does. I mean, that's what a lot of these things end up doing, is they say, well, the university says, give us a certain amount of money, and we'll have a program for 1 or 2 years or 3 years, whatever it is, and you will get MBA, right? And then you go out in the marketplace and you get a big job because you have a MBA.
Oh, we also have a learning, because I study in university in Hong Kong, and then we actually have a term for those kind of like university, especially. So in Canto we call it hot team. Hot team. So like basically in English, to put it shorter form, it's like, it's not about education anymore. It's about making profit. It's about selling courses out. Yeah. It becomes into like an enterprise instead of like somewhere you are actually learning knowledge to utilize in real life and then be helpful towards everything, learning what you love.
But in this case, it's like you get a certificate.
It's like buying a certificate.
Buying a certificate.
But then you need maybe 2 years time
Yeah.
to like pay it by installment and you get that certificate.
Yeah, totally right. So, on what Howard was pointing out, he said, he's studying right now, and the thing about Howard, if I remember from our discussion before, he's also traveling. I mean, he's going in different. You're going in different places in the world.
Yes.
Right, and you're seeing business, but in different cultural perspectives, which actually is the most valuable thing. Because what you read in a book, you can get it on the internet cheaper, and maybe better, because there's more points of view, right? Not just one book by one white dude in New York or something, right?
Yeah.
Like, so that's the number one thing. But the number two thing is that what is business? Like, what is business? It's trading. What? Skill for money. That's basically what it is. I have something you need, you have something I need to continue doing, providing the skill.
Demand and supply.
Yeah. And so when you go to different places and see different ways people do business, in the Middle East, in Europe, in North America, et cetera, Latin America, when you start to see that it's actually not just economic, it's really cultural. Business is really a cultural enterprise. It's a creative cultural enterprise. You're creating products and services for what? For the needs of the culture, right?
100%.
Even the culture of food. I mean, the spices and the ingredients are cultural, right? That's what actually is being traded. Is I make my soup with this spice in this country, so you need that spice, and they need soup makers that make that soup. So anyway, so I won't go too far on it. Just to follow up on the idea of what is it that we're preparing people to do? What are we preparing people for in ConscienceLAND? It's not only education. It is education. We do have a conscience-versity, you know, in ConscienceLAND. We have our, you know, our idea. It's not an accredited university, but I know about accreditation in universities because I was president of the MBA Association in my school in Canada, and I was the one that brought in these certifications for the MBA program. So I'm familiar with what is not only the process, but you know, the sort of promotional value of getting you know, certified by a third-party agency as to how this university ranks against this university in terms of, you know, their teaching ability and the employment after graduation, these kind of things, which are mostly metrics that actually don't matter. They don't matter at all. You know, it doesn't matter who. It matters who teaches you. You know, it doesn't matter what the book is. It doesn't matter what the classroom looks like. It matters who teaches you.
Who are you following?
Who are you following? Like, what is the model? Like, is it ethical or is it just, you know, money? Like you said, you know, just like, here's a trick to make money. Whoa, what are we doing that for? Why are we teaching that? Okay, so let's not dwell too much on that, except to say that that is what ConscienceLAND's idea is to create education. It could be like physical education too, definitely. It's very important. Physical, mental, spiritual, right? Education. Not to teach you have to follow this religion or something. No. It's not about that. It's about, like, you need to understand that the world is not just material. It's not. In fact, it's really not. That's an illusion, right? It's not material. It is essentially spiritual, which you could even say is sort of cultural spiritual. You know, it's the culture of spirit, esprit in French. You know, esprit, spirit. And so that's what we're trying to communicate here in ConscienceLAND, that we all learn from each other. We actually have everything inside already. The whole universe is in there. You know, it's all there. We're just a reflection of the universe in our DNA, and you know, we can all deep and mixed up. But you know, it's not. We've got everything here. It's just that we have denied it, and it's not even our own fault, really, as individuals. We have been misled and denied access to ourselves and our oneness for millennia. Long time. And others have stepped into that breach between us and the universe, source, and they have said, well, follow me, do what I tell you, pray to me, you know, do my thing, give me food, you know, bring me a special building, you know, do that, and then you're going to get connected, which is garbage, right? That's not true.
That's a lot of info.
Well, but it's, you know, and I don't mind to offend anybody if you're highly religious, you know, and you're following some particular religion. That's good. There's no problem.
I agree with your point.
Right. But the all religions, when you start to get down to it, they pretty much, if they're legitimate religions, they all agree on the same point, is that our objective is to connect with Source. So it could be as simple as you go out in the grass and take your shoes off and take your socks off and you walk in the grass. What's the source of our energy in the earth, on the earth? It's the sun and it's the ground. Okay? Negative ions exchange with positive ions. It balances out our polarity as a little mammal walking along the planet, right? And it balances things out. It releases a lot of energy or exchanges energy, balances out energy. That's not a religious thought. That's physical. That's physics.
Yeah.
It's just the balance.
That's why I tell people to touch grass from time to time. Just touch grass.
Yeah.
Just go out, go to the beach, go to the sea.
Sea is particularly important. Not everybody can do that, but it's, you know, it's salt water. It's the life. It's what's inside our bodies, for gosh sakes. You know.
It's so nice swimming.
Yeah.
Just in the sea.
Because we're in our element.
Yeah.
Right? We're in our element. And water itself, I mean, we're getting all the woo-woo here, but, you know, water, I don't know if you have talked about this with your family or friends, but water has many states, right? We think of it as liquid, gas, and what is it? Frozen
Solid
ice.
ice.
Yeah, solid, liquid, gas. But it actually has fourth and probably a fifth state. But the potential fifth state being, it is consciousness. It is a repository for information. Have you ever like, I know you've had a shower, but have you ever felt like when you have a bath or a shower that you kind of have ideas, or your mind goes calmer and things come to you? Did that happen with you?
Taking
Long
a shower
shower.
to me is like a me time thing. So I think inside, I reflect myself inside, and then I plan for the future. Also inside. So I take a long bath.
And you feel not only better, like you feel better because it's sort of relaxing and things, but I don't want to put words in your mouth, but are you feeling sort of more connected with the universe? And at least for me, this is it. The water is water. What are we made up of? Water. So we're just connecting with what we are. And if you think of it in terms of a memory bank, it's a fluid memory. Bruce Lee, be water. Be water, my friend. Water is incredibly important. So
It originates a lot with like our fetus form when we are inside the womb. We're actually in a pile of water.
It's water.
Basically in a pile of water.
it's water. Yeah. Okay, guys, look, I've enjoyed this Change Wednesday
Me too.
enormously.
Likewise.
Yeah. So what we need to do is go forth. We need to develop some programs like Mooncake Coin. We got to get some things happening that people can participate in, all right, on the digital side. But as we spoke about earlier, Sharmeen, the idea of the Mooncake Coin, for example, is this is a traditional Chinese festival and activity and meaningfulness and family thing. So let's try to bridge and create like a really fun thing, not just an app, really a fun sort of dimensional game or something. Something could be to do with the tasting, it could be to do with gifting, it could be doing with visiting neighbors and making friends and these kind of things. Let's get something happening which really changes.
Like a lock.
Like what?
Like a lock.
Yeah, it's a conscience LARP. It's a live action role playing game, and we use the Mooncake Coin. Why? Because it's a season, right? It's a season for family. So we say, look, it's a season for family. We're introducing a new thing. It's digital, but it's not just digital. It's like connecting. You're using it, and you're starting to have a sort of ownership purchase of something, but it's not a bar of gold, it's not of jewelry, it's not of this, it's something you can actually give away or share or lend or whatever, taste. And we're just showing you that this digital world does not have to be just collecting loyalty points or something, and it's not just economic being better than the next person. That's kind of what it is now. Competing. I got more Bitcoin than someone else. Like it. That I think if we get into the area of the three-finger token, which is a friendship token, pay it forward friendship token, and we get the Mooncake Coin because it's an interesting thing that has already a lot of publicity for 1,000 years or 2,000 years. I don't know how long the mooncake tradition has been around in China. Do you know?
A few thousand actually.
Yeah. So a few thousand years. So we got a lot of publicity behind it, right? There's a lot of
thousands of years.
Yeah, thousands of years. So let's, look at those thousands of years. What has been the objective? Like family, source, fun, food, taste, all kinds of happy, fun things. Let's digitize it in some fashion, but not in a like a cold digital way. Let's make it fun. get people more engaged than ever. Okay, folks, peace.
Peace. Spread
Plus
the
one.
peace. Yay.
Join the fun in ConscienceLAND. Share the 3-finger sustainability symbol with your friends
Yeah.
and encourage them to become citizens.
Yeah.
And you're an ambassador. When you do that, you're an ambassador. You start to share the message. We grow ConscienceLAND around the world, from Hong Kong, and it makes things happen. Okay, guys and girls,
Yeah.
sound good?
Sounds good.
Solid.
Happy Change Wednesday.
Happy Change Wednesday.
Happy
Remember to
Wednesday.
smile, everyone.
Woo!